we go. Hey, look at you. Once again, you've taken the elevator and now found yourself in Hella Vella, where we talk about all things Vella, the new and exciting reading platform from Kindle, and that lets you read epic stories one episode at a time. And today we are here with author Vivianne Ironwood, and there's an LV, and they write under the name Vivianne Ironwood together. So welcome them. Say hi. We all waved with the same hand. That was pretty cool. We didn't plan that.
Was.
Rock on. All right. So I'm going to ask my famous first question. I ask this of everyone I interview. We'll start with you, Vivianne. When did you start writing?
I've always written stories. I started out in fan fiction when I was I didn't know it was fan fiction at the time, when I was probably 7 or 8, writing down stories like everybody does, where you go along on adventures with your favorite book characters, and just never really stopped writing.
Right. So when you were a little kid and you started writing stories, and then what, you got in high school, you wrote more stories.
I was really active. I'm still active, although less active these days in fan fiction. That's actually how we met, how LV and I met.
Very cool.
And it's always been part of my life.
So LV, you write fan fiction too?
That was where I got my start. I did not write the 7 and 8-year-old fan fiction. At 7 and 8, I thought I was trying to write original stories, although they were terrible. I discovered fan fiction at about 12, I think, and that was how I met Viv. Continued writing both fan and original works up until college. Then I started focusing on fan works for a while. And really, I haven't, I've been, writing for 20 years. Yeah,
You're old.
20 years.
What, you guys have known each other since you were kids?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
About.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. That's nice. That's a treasure in this world for sure. So,
oh yeah.
So both of you have been writing for quite, a minute, right? Do you guys have other things out there besides your Vellas?
Not professional, not anything else professional. Everything else is fan works, and Vella was a really good way to break into. I've been wanting to write and self-published for a while, but Vella really gave me the impetus to start, because writing episodes is a lot less scary than writing a whole book.
Yes, it definitely is not as much as daunting, for certain. So you'd been waiting for something like this to come along, and you heard of it. How did you hear of it?
I actually got an ad for it on Amazon one day. It was shown up under new features or something like that. I don't remember. I just what is that? And I clicked it. And I was just kind of like, oh, I could do this.
Oh, that's very cool.
Went from there.
So when did you two publish the first story?
Our two first stories, which is Fire Sign and Blood Guilt, went up on June 1st.
Of this year. Brand new.
Of this year. Yeah, we are brand new.
That's awesome.
We sort of jumped in with both feet.
Oh, and that's great. So how many episodes do you have on let's say Fire Sign first?
Fire Sign is currently, I think, at episode 23. It goes up twice a week. I've got it scheduled out to mid-September. It's I want to say episode 33 or something. And I'm in the end game right now. So I think it'll wrap by the end of September. If I may throw a couple extra episodes just to finish it off.
Oh, very cool.
Ahead of my schedule. Blood Guilt is on episode 25.
Sorry,
25. I handle the scheduling. So
now, yep, I was going to say, I can tell you that I'm currently working on a dance scene in episode 26, and that's all I can say.
A dance scene?
Masquerade Ball.
No, it's straight up. We've gone into the scandalous. So LV,
the volume on this is very low for some reason. I'm not sure why. This is like the lowest I've ever heard the volume. I've got you guys turned up as loud as I can go here. So LV, do you write on blood guilt and then you write on fire sign? Is that how it works? Or you both write on
Mostly,
both?
mostly
switch
we
back
have
and
our
forth?
pet projects, and then we kind of hand things off of, would this be better, or you're better at steamy scenes, would you help me with this part? But
Who's better
I'm
with the steamy
sorry.
scenes?
She says I'm better at steamy scenes. She lies.
yes,
All right. Well, you got to play to your strengths, ladies. You got to
mine
play
read
to
like
your strengths.
cardboard without her help.
Well,
Yes,
this is
no,
great.
without Viv, I would go nowhere. She's the
Without
one who
who's
handles the
what?
plot. I would go nowhere because she's the one who handles plot.
Oh.
I don't know about plot. I think it might be more pacing of, I love this scene. I kind of want to marinate in them dancing and staring at each other for like another 3,000 words, but I also want to know what happens next. So
Yes, you must reach a happy medium. You must.
that's one of the really fun things about the Vela format is
Really?
I think anyway, I may be wrong, but I think that nobody wants to pay too much for an episode, but you want to get enough story in there. And it really
Yes.
encourages you to keep things moving.
It does. It does. And serial writing is not novel writing.
No.
It's not the same. And even the very experienced novel writers will tell you it's not quite the same. And you find that out when you're doing it.
Yeah.
You find it out real quickly. And you find it out also when you read serials. That's where I came to find out that, because I was doing 2,200 word, 2,500 word episodes pretty regularly, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to read them and I'm like, oh God, how much longer does this go on? I've been scrolling and scrolling and found out it was like 1,500 words. So yeah.
But you've got really good content in your long episodes.
Do what?
You've got really good content in your long episodes.
Oh, well, thank you. You've read some of my stuff.
I've read, I want to say it's Reign of Embers is the one I'm currently working on.
Oh no, that's not me.
That's not right. I can't remember. I've got too many things. I've got like 9 stories that I'm reading right now that have long episodes, and I'm pretty sure one of them is yours, but I can't remember.
I've seen them. I've seen people take them up to 5,000 words.
I clicked on one the other day that was on the new authors feature thing, and they had a 47. Their chapter 4 was 47 tokens, and I thought about it, but I haven't clicked on it yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm assuming that you guys, well, yeah, because I wouldn't have met you otherwise. So you're out on social media. Have you been pretty happy with the
the community is wonderful.
I think
the community is really nice. There's so many cool people. I've met a lot of really nice people, and it's really fun hearing people talk about their stories.
It is. And seeing all the different creative ways they think of to advertise these stories. I just think that's wonderful. And there are several Vela authors that are really doing pretty well out on TikTok, even, which is tough. It's tough to get in that slipstream.
We're trying TikTok, but it's been kind of an interesting ride. Did you see the Kitty Murder Consultant today?
No.
I don't remember the author's name, unfortunately, but she posted about her mystery that she's putting up, and this is her murder consultant who suggests that you read it. And it was a very cute cat photo.
Kitty Murder Consultant. Nice.
I mean,
nice.
Do you think cats would be good at it?
Yeah, definitely. They should be good at it. They certainly
do it.
I've got 2 cats and they certainly kill a lot. Yes.
If we need any consultants for squeaky toys, our guys are there, but
yeah. Well, mine are full-on hunters that go out at night and bring in prey. It's really thrilling, I tell you. But okay, so now let's see. We've got. All right, so first of all, tell me about Fire Sign, and then tell me about Blood Guilt. So go in order here.
All right, Fire Sign is the story of an orphan who is coming of age and preparing to leave the werewolf pack that has raised her because she doesn't feel like she fits in. And that's basically where it starts, and it sort of spirals out from there. It's not a I will be honest, it's not the most unique story out there, but I think I have some fun, unique takes on it. And Ash is a really cool character.
Okay, so it's a werewolf story.
It's a werewolf story.
Trope. I said
Yep.
torp. Oh my God. It's and so what made you want to write? Is that like a big part of your fandom is werewolf?
I read a lot of werewolves. We have dogs. I've been active in rescue for a while, and I get very irritated with some of the wolf behavior stuff that people like to assign to werewolves. So I was all, oh God, she's heard it all. Elvie has heard all of this and is tired of it. But
I heard all of this and can quote it from memory and agree with most of it.
Yeah,
but it gets old. But I like writing about. I love the way people write some of the people side of things, but people get really creative.
We've lost LV.
We've lost LV. People get really weird about some of the things they assign to alpha wolves, and it's totally fun, but it can also get a little bit weird. And I was like, and also some of the senses. I had never read a werewolf story where people talked about the things they could smell. And this is our house coyote.
Hello, baby. Look at that.
Yep. This is Edie, the house coyote. And she is not actually a coyote, just to clarify.
She just looks like one.
Yeah.
And she got the big, kind of clunky paws like a coyote.
No, she has
little paws.
Very delicate little Pomeranian paws.
Oh,
she's sweet.
But going back, nobody plays with the werewolf senses. That's something that Viv and I both really want to see. Hi, Lyra.
Yeah, and see, I don't understand that. You mean to tell me that in werewolf books, people don't talk about how they can smell better than anything? And
their vision always gets sharper, and they feel more alive in the woods, which is cool. I'm not saying these are bad things, but canines in general, scent is their primary sense. That's how they view the world, and there's a fundamental difference to the way they interpret it that we do. And there is so much cool science out there right now. If you Google the term scent theory, we're learning so much about how they perceive things. And it's really cool. And I wanted to write about that. So.
Well, that's wonderful. I like that. I think I would enjoy that. I'm not big on the werewolf trope.
It's not everybody's thing.
And I thought that, like sharp vision, I thought that was more attributable to vamps.
That always made lots of logical sense to me, but I think people just are trying to kind of clarify getting into an animal mindset where they're closer to the input rather than.
Do wolves run on four legs, or do
yes, they do.
Yeah. See, and if they run on four legs, keener vision doesn't make a lot of sense.
It doesn't.
But a lot of people aren't really good at doing that kind of math when they're just writing something, to make themselves happy and to make other people happy.
Right. So okay, so that's story number one, fire sign. What about, of course, blood? Is it blood guild or guilt?
Guilt.
Okay.
G-U-I-L-T.
It was almost blood guild.
It was almost blood guilt, G-I-L-T, and Kate was like, don't do that pun.
And is it a vamp?
Vivianne was like, don't do that pun. Yes, and this is a vampire story. Blood guilt is, honestly, I think it's a story about classism, but the general gist is about what happens in a society ruled by vampires that has always been, designed for vampires, where humans are second-class citizens at best and livestock a lot of the time. What happens if a human dies without permission?
Dies?
So it is a detective who has a few secrets of her own, a human detective who has a few secrets of her own, trying to solve this murder.
And it's the murder of a human
And
who,
it's the murder of a human. At one point, major character, an important person, shall we say, refers to this woman as a sow, just for being human.
it's awful. He's
Yeah,
terrible.
it's intentional.
He's horrible, and I am waiting for the day that a safe falls on him, or a giant
If
rock, or
only.
something else. Lyra,
If only.
whatever you're doing back
Whatever
there.
she's doing, I'm gonna stop her. Lyra, girl,
Sorry, guys.
What is she doing? I saw her
Lyra
running
is
around.
not entirely trustworthy on carpet, so
she was looking for
and
a
of
puppy.
course
she's a puppy.
instantly.
She's a puppy, and she will be going outside when she comes back upstairs.
Oh, she's just a
Outside
little.
right now.
She's just a young one.
She's
She's just a little girl.
just a little girl.
Just a little girl.
Oh, she's
Just a
sweet.
little girl, and she thinks it's her birthday every day. Oh, baby.
Yes,
baby.
we spoil our pets here too.
Oh yeah.
So I take it that when you heard about Vela, so when was this exactly? I heard you say that you jumped in June.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about it in March, and I told Elvie about it, and was like, this could be really fun, but I didn't want to do it by myself. Co-writing is way more fun than doing it alone.
Yes.
And so I'm like, come on, we should jump into this. It took me about a month to get her on board, and then we worked on having a backlog ready so that we could launch a couple episodes at once.
Okay, so you heard about it in March. So did you start reading Vela?
Oh yeah, I started reading pretty much from that beginning.
Okay, so if you've watched any of my interviews, you've heard me say, got anybody you want to shout out? Have you seen anybody that you've been reading in Vela that has just really stood out for you?
My favorite story that I'm following at the moment is, hang on, I've got to actually look up the author's name because I can't remember her last name.
I don't think any one of us care whether you remember the name of the author or not. If you remember the name of the story, I think we're all over the moon.
Yeah, I know. I have so many I have so many things that I'm following.
Yes, I'm following so many that I have to scroll and hit the button for you see more stories you follow. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
500
That's
more.
my problem. And this one hasn't updated in a couple days, so which is why I'm remembering. I've been reading this week. I've read Mia Daughters of Legend, which is Casey Nord, and was just one that was recommended to me, and I decided to check it out. And then what is this one? I have so many pages of this.
What about you, Elvie, while she's looking?
Thalassaphobia.
What?
Thalassaphobia.
The land for phobia?
Thalassaphobia, which
It means
is,
fear of the ocean.
I want to say that's, I can't remember the author.
I can't remember her name, but it is an absolutely fantastic piece of horror. It did not keep me up at night, but it definitely caused some late night conversations between me and Viv that were absolutely me trying not to be kept awake at night.
Educate an old woman. What is it a fear of?
The sea.
The fear of the sea.
Oh man, I wish there was more mermaid horror out there. There really should be.
It's mermaid horror.
It's not specifically, but it sort of ties into it.
Nice.
It really does remind me a lot of Sean McGuire's Rolling in the Deep.
It's got some of the same tension building, and you just it's very ominous.
I haven't read any of
So
them.
yeah, I just compared somebody on Vela to Shauna McGuire, and I will not take it back.
Is that a big thing? Will they be thrilled?
I hope she is. She should
if
be.
she reads ocean going horror, she should be. Edie, what are you doing?
Things.
Coyote things, apparently.
Yeah, the one I was thinking of is Forsworn Consort, Bedlam Academy, which is this wonderful portal fantasy with a main character who is supposed to be a sacrifice to open the portal to the other world and somehow gets transported there. And the other world is sort of a alternate Regency setting. I don't know that it's England. I hesitate to call it that, but it's really got great characters and great villains too. But the Amy McNulty is the author, and she's really got a great grasp. Her dialogue is fantastic, and it really, the Regency setting is really well done.
Wow, that's cool. These are ones you guys are bringing up ones I've never heard of.
I find a lot of things on the Vela groups, but I've also had a ton of fun just browsing through the tags. There's a ton of stuff out there, and there's a lot of people that I think don't know about the Vela groups. And so they're not advertising there. And if you want to find them, you have to go look.
I'm always looking for people to jump into the groups. And that's one of the reasons for these shout outs is to find new people.
Yeah.
And so like if they're not part of Hella Vela, I'll ask if anybody knows these people, drag them in, see if you can bring them in and get them to join us, because the more we can get together on Hella Vela, the more awareness we can have for this platform. That's the whole reason that I started the YouTube channel, is because every guest brings their own, book of friends over to the channel. And if we can get them to subscribe, then maybe we can get those people talking about the platform, and maybe they can tell somebody else, and then it gets raised up in the algorithm. So all good things I'm hoping for here.
Well, and you just never know who you tell about it that, will participate in the future.
Yes, I know. Whether it's a reader or writer, you just really don't know. I went to a doctor's appointment to see a specialist, an ear, nose, and throat guy, and he asked me what I did. And I told him, I said that, I retired from my day job. COVID retired me early, and that I was writing Velas. Now I was living my dream, this big fantasy of mine is living my dream and getting published as a writer. And he asked me about it, and he literally sat over there at the computer, got on Amazon and looked the thing up. I'm like, oh. And
That's
so you
cool.
don't know, you have no idea who's going to actually listen to you and maybe pull out their phone or whatever. You just don't know. So
that's kind of how I got the self-publishing bug. Is I'd always written stories, but I didn't ever really imagine being a professional writer. I went on a cruise about 8 years ago with some friends, and LV has heard this story, but this was before we were together. The ladies we sat with at dinner, one of them was a self-published romance author on Amazon, and had retired and then started doing that, if I remember correctly, and had just gotten to be wildly successful writing time travel romances, and had been treating her friends to yearly cruises since she started publishing and making money at it. And it was really funny because the friends I was with were also fandom people, and we all wrote fan fiction. And she was like, "It's a little spicy, be careful if you look me up." And it was so funny because she was this wonderful older lady. She had great jewelry and some really great clothes, just very, very much a character herself.
Wow.
And I just never really, it just sort of sat in the back of my mind. I've got a couple friends who'd already been doing it, but it just, they're all such good writers. I'm not that good. And I'm not terrible. I'm just, I didn't think I was good enough, and I have a little more.
How did you feel when you started stacking yourself up and comparing yourself up to people writing for Vela?
I feel like there's some people I would never measure up to out there still. But I feel pretty confident overall in my work. It really helps to be writing as a team, because it means that we've got built-in editorial support of, that's not good enough. You are telling, you are not showing. You have not explained this in a way that makes sense, or I'm not even sure what's going on here.
You got a few of those. Most of them are me.
No.
On the other hand, this one, and her incorrect M dashes gonna drive me
I
But
really,
the M dash is just so compelling, you know?
it is. It moves
It
things
is.
fast.
It is, and you
correct.
know, as a writer, you just feel like you want to use it. It just
No,
feels
no, no, no.
like it
I have
needs
no
to be
problem
used.
with her M dash addiction. I have one too. My problem is you put either one space on either side of the M dash, or you put no spaces, one on either side or none.
Right.
This one space and then no space thing that she does, no bad.
Oh,
Trying to
I
get better about
see.
it.
So we have one on one side and none on the other.
It's like one of those words you just can't spell right without having to fix it. I know.
Yeah, dad.
Yep.
Bad use of M dash.
Slap the hand.
All right. All right. So that's pretty good. So we've got two no, is that right? Let's see. I have Mia,
Oh, I see Lyra.
Mia Daughters of Legend.
Mia Daughters of Legend, which is Casey Nort's.
Uh-huh.
And I think I saw that one on Hellavella. May have been one of the other groups.
Thalassaphobia.
And then Amy McNulty, Thalassaphobia.
Thalassaphobia.
THELASSOPHOBIA.
Okay. Right.
No,
Listen, girls.
really.
I mean, you're dealing with someone here who just needs it plain and simple, like the brilliant Vella author who named her series Mermaid. Okay, Mermaid. There you go.
Stop
That's
being
what I
jealous.
Hold that back up, LD.
Ellie, hold your sign back up. A little
Oh,
to the left.
God, Jesus, I don't even have it close to
Other
that.
left. Not quite that much left.
Now, why are you girls so smart? THAHASS, son of a HOF.
Yeah, THALASS.
FO. I think
Spelling
I've got
bee
it
word.
now. At least I have a good enough start on it. I know I can find it. And I'm going to have to read it too, because you call a book something, some word that I don't know. I'm going to have to see what
It's a good one.
about.
Guys,
Well,
dinner is late, not never.
okay. The last one. All right.
Nope. That is enough.
So, well, are there any, you guys have a vamp book and a werewolf book.
Mhm.
Any plans on doing another one? Any plans on jumping in there on another one?
I've got sort of a, I don't want to call it magical realism, but it's a historical fantasy that was inspired a little bit by A Great and Terrible Beauty, which is a little dated now, but it was a really wonderful young adult, new adult, set in the Victorian period. It was a boarding school with creepy things, and I've got kind of a spin on that I'm playing with, but it's not quite baked yet.
Oh, okay. You got something cooking.
It's cooking.
Very good. Very good. I like magical realism too.
Yeah, I'm not sure how magical realism versus just fantasy this is going to be yet, but
It's historical fantasy.
it's
so
historical fantasy for sure.
somewhere on that line between historical fantasy and magical realism. Possibly it's just weird fiction, babe.
Yeah, probably. Well, I'm terrible about assigning genres to things, so sometimes it's
And yet
obvious.
You write in their conventions so beautifully.
Well, you know, it is very frustrating as a reader when a book's cover and the conventions of kind of the genre. Like if you read a romance and it's not a happily ever after, how
It's not a
happy are you
romance.
going to be? It's not a romance. It's just women's fiction. Ugh, I hate that stupid dichotomy.
there's always got to be a happily ever after in romance.
If you're going
right?
to call it a romance, I'll take a happily for now. And I'll take a cliffhanger and they're not happy yet, but there's a sequel. That's okay too.
Okay.
But
But
there's
their
just
final ending has to be happy, or else it's not a romance.
yeah.
It's like a genre standard. You can't have horror that isn't scary.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You can
Well,
have
you
comedic
can, but
horror.
it's
It can be
crap.
funny, but it's got to be scary.
Awesome. Okay. All right. This is good. I sort of innately knew that, but I don't write romance. I was thinking of trying one. simply because they have 60% of the market share,
Yeah.
So my plain fantasy is not as appealing as all that. So I was thinking about it. But yeah, I think I would have known that innately. Don't kill off Romeo. Don't have him dump her for someone else.
I think you can get away with killing off Romeo if you kill her too. But that's going to be a hard sell. And maybe you better have ghost romance after that.
Well,
On the other hand, Romeo could start out dead.
We are not writing Romeo and Juliet zombies.
Then you'd have Sixth Sense.
True.
Yeah.
Or that god-awful Henry Golding Christmas movie.
What was that one?
It's Last Christmas. And if you've watched it like 17 times, and yes, I've avoided all of them because it doesn't have a happy ending. And if I'm going to watch a Henry Golding movie, I like A Simple Favor, and he doesn't get a happy ending in that. But
yeah, but there's an alternate scene where he proposes via Bollywood dance, and it's adorable.
That's fair.
You two know each other very well.
Yeah, we've known each other for a very long time.
We literally like to joke that we have a file share between our brains.
That's pretty cool. I like that, girls. I do. So I've got your shout outs. Mm-hmm. Well, what about this? If tomorrow someone were to say, you guys, you are so good at Vela, let's make you the CEOs, co-CEOs of Vela. What would you do, if anything, to change the way the platform is now, or any portion of it?
Standalone app and better tagging.
International availability. Also, the tagging thing. Holy cow, that's important.
The tagging could be so much better. And Amazon is good at tagging algorithms. There's no reason for it to be as bad as it is.
I know, they're very good at it. They almost invented it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, commercially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Besides the AO3, who's tagging. Let's not go there.
Yeah, the AO3 tagging system is its whole own can of worms.
Oh.
Hey, we are 300,000th of a Hugo because of it.
What does that mean?
The Hugo Awards are science fiction and fantasy awards that are given out every year at Worldcon.
Right, I know what Hugo.
Yeah, okay, just checking. AO3 is archive of our own. It's a fan fiction archive, and the AO3 won a Hugo Award for fan project several years ago, and it was given collectively to the archive and people on the archive. Not for their individual stories, but for the contribution that it makes to fan works as a whole, because it's a repository for them.
And because the tagging system was
revolutionary. Because if you want to read a story about, I don't know, Styles and Derek from Teen Wolf, as geometry figures, you can figure out a tag for that, and you can search it on AO3, and somebody may have it.
Or if you want to read, using your Teen Wolf idea, if you want to read the alternate universe where Stilinski from Teen Wolf is somehow related to Tony Stark from the Avengers, there's a tag for that. You can search it. There's like 20 fics in it.
I see.
And fiction is wild.
It is funky comparatively, sure. I'd definitely give you that.
Do not let her eat that pen.
I will not let her eat. It's a beloved pen. I will not let her eat it.
And it will explode. The other thing is that I'd love to see Amazon move Vela over to its own app, so it's not just in Kindles, and get it available on their Kindle readers. But getting it onto an app so that it's not just kind of an afterthought. It's its own thing. Mm-hmm. Currently, from the Kindle app, you really can't search for novellas. You can read the ones you started in the web browser, but it doesn't really know what to do with it needs its own app. So please, Amazon, give us our own app.
Yeah, our own app and international availability.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, international audience is going to be huge.
Yeah.
my black cat is on top of my black ragtop car right now.
Lyra, why are you hitting me?
Because it's dinner time.
Is it time for dinner?
It is time for dinner.
Well,
Apparently. Or
well,
possibly
we're
it's
just about done here.
Do
We're
not
just
say
about
that word.
done.
Do not say the word LV. I know which word you're thinking, and don't say it because everyone will start
Everybody start to bark.
or start looking for CHEWIES.
I actually was not going to say that word. What I was going to say is it's either dinner time or time to hit mom.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I think it's probably they want their
Mhm.
PREATS.
Oh, that one's safe.
Oh, is it?
The treats and evening snackos are the current euphemisms.
Not
Those
here,
are safe.
dear. It's not safe here.
I understand that one.
We've got two of our own here that will come running up, and they've barked in plenty of these interviews, so they're pretty well known. Well, okay, ladies. Now the last question before I let you go, so that you can feed your little doggos, is what would you like to say to the people who are going to be clicking on the links in the description of this video, because there will be some. What would you like to say to them?
I hope you enjoy the story and thank you for clicking.
Absolutely.
Thanks for clicking. Hope you enjoy. Just, yeah.
And thank you so much for both having this platform and letting us come on.
It's so fun. I really, really enjoy meeting all of the writers and hearing everybody's stories. Means a lot to me. And there's so many of us in the same boat that just weren't publishing. We wanted to write, and we knew we wanted to write, but it was just not the right time. And
novels are scary. Serials are achievable.
That's right.
Anything.
That's right.
The how do you eat an elephant joke?
Well,
LV, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
It's I don't know. Have you never heard that one?
No.
How do you eat an elephant or a whale or whatever?
Oh, one bite
large
at a time.
item, one bite at a time. And serials really are that as a writer. Is yes, to get good at it, it's going to take practice, but it's achievable. It is. It's a goal
great.
you can get to.
And it's nice to have it in something that you can have one bite at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll tell you a joke. I heard a joke last night, so I have to tell this. You ready? Okay. So there was this executive, and he was late for a meeting, and he was in the downtown area, and he was circling the building. There was nowhere to park, right? And he knew that his career was going to be over if he didn't get a parking space and get into this meeting. So for the first time in 25 years, he prays, God, if you let me find this parking space, I will turn my life around. I will stop cheating on my wife. I will stop drinking. I'll go to church. And just then, a sunbeam opened up right in front of his car, and a car pulls out right where he can just nip right in there. And he said, oh, never mind, God, I found one.
I like that one. I'm stealing it.
Sounds like me most days. All right, ladies, I will leave you with that goofy little thought. And thank you so much for coming on Hellavella. I'll have this out in a couple of days.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you.